here, they will secure themselves and Hanwha Life and Elder the win.
Yeah, and I'm actually a little bit confused about the first pick decision here for Nongshim, because I feel like
Was haben wir denn als First Pick noch offen?
into Fearless
Jetzt wird's spannend. Zoe wird jetzt wahrscheinlich gebannt, oder? Von Nongshim. Oder First Pick Zoe? Actually First Pick Zoe, oder?
That's kind of how it goes.
Scout spielt sie auch. First Pick Zoe is the way.
Are going to do their very best to just not ban the OPs, right? But Rumble, Jace, Varus will be the bans, and so Nocturne, Aurora, and Leona will be the things that are likely going to be left up here in comparison to last time around.
There may be a trap.
Sion ist auch ab, ja.
Jace, they could try to do something like that. That is the safest approach, is to ban those three, but...
Na gut, am Titel Skifahren dann nach WoW. Klar.
Instead, they will ban it.
Klar.
Gwen is gone, so, and with Varus banned, Sion feels very safe.
Klar.
I think one of
they might be fishing for that as well.
Oh, Zoe going to be the last ban here. So it will be all of those picks that they banned away last time around left up, as Nocturne, Aurora, and Leona will all be available. The last ban will be Varus.
It's got to be.
I'm going to write that
one's
in.
Non-negotiable at this point if you're not going to trade. They're thinking about something else, or perhaps talking about what their response is to several different...
Zoe gebannt, die müssen Varus bannen, dann Sion offen. Ja. Guter Read von euch. Sion offen.
Self isn't necessarily first pickable here. I don't think that's strong.
Bard first pick Kai'Sa. Because she is
Aurora?
like... Okay, Aurora is going to be the decision.
Okay.
Bard is a champion that we have talked so much about in this tournament, and of the 10 Fearless bans, he's not one of them. Could definitely implement that into your draft if you have the confidence to play it.
Yep. There's like Zeri angles and things like that as
Zeri
well.
also very strong. Smolder also very strong with all of these engage tools falling by the wayside. Deeper you go into series. Nocturne is going to be one of the best ways to get on top of a backline target.
Yep. Also, denying the Aurora Nocturne,
Aber Nocturne was.
I think, is very important here as well.
Syndra?
So Cuz going to be taking that one away. I wonder what they're going to pair it alongside.
The Aurora is also still a flex, and Kingen is very good at playing top lane Aurora.
Very true.
Ist es Syndra?
It's a very uncomfortable position for BDD, but he has shown already so much in this series that he doesn't care if his pick is blind or not. And he has at least an idea that this Aurora is on the Rift, and it might be his lane matchup. Syndra has been one of those go-tos into the Aurora, and it feels like a bit of a bait here to pull that one out by Nongshim Red Force.
Oh, this is actually really curious, because we see the Gwen being banned on the side of Nongshim. I feel like KT have locked in the Sion as like a bit of a pick away. We know Kingen does really like to play it, but it seemed like they were getting themselves into a checkmate scenario where the Sion was going to work out. This time around, though, they'll be locked in.
But they need
was?
support for this, I think. Otherwise,
Rel?
can be so difficult. And we've seen how these games have been shaped by bottom lane
Trundle.
2v2 matchups. The Trundle feels like too good of an opportunity to pass up. With
Ja, Trundle to Sion. Ist gut, ja.
But it's not bad in the Doctrine. It's not like
I think it's fine.
He doesn't
Solid.
get a bunch of value out of his ultimate is really what I'm saying, but he gets ultimate value into the Sion every time. So what are we going to see here for one of our soul laners? I don't think you want to split the bottom 2v2 necessarily right now.
Well, Rakan is a whole lot of value, so I wouldn't mind locking that one in here for Ghost.
Ghost Rakan. We're rolling the sleeves up on this one.
I think, you know, the Xayah is going to be banned, ladies and gentlemen. That's what we're going to see. Obviously, going back to, like, even as far as 2017, Kai'Sa versus Xayah has been, like, one of the most common matchups. Obviously, Ezreal versus Kai'Sa is another one, but Kai'Sa and Xayah have been hand-in-hand for many years. So that one will be banned. What else is going to be taken away is going to be the big question. And what is BDD going to be playing?
Caitlyn's gone. Leona is the counter to Rakan in this setup here, so I think that makes a lot of sense. But would they be willing to ban something like a Ziggs? Like, Ziggs Rakan's not really a thing. What is going to be the 80 carry that wants to try to win this lane with Misfortune? Because Xayah's banned, right? We're talking about the second 80 carry ban here for Nongshim Red Force. Maybe they just don't ban an 80 carry in that final spot at all, but
maybe it's just Zeri. Zeri Nocturne's actually kind of interesting.
And Sion, and then BDD plays any sort of scaling.
Yeah.
I guess that could be the game plan here, and just
what if they just
aiming.
Could you just zig Smolder with this?
I think you could, but it is very difficult to pilot. But you have enough defensive tools that maybe it works out. Smolder is so incredibly strong in drafts like this when you just can't get to him. Like, the Aurora is going to struggle to do so, the Trundle's going to struggle to do so. And it's a fairly safe lane with the Recon, if it's played in bottom lane.
Ja, jetzt haben wir was auf 4-5 gehen. Ne? Leona raus. Seht ihr noch was?
Zeri's gone.
Nico raus, of course. Bart, ja, Bart, aber bisschen kacke.
Into Pillar feels terrible.
Yeah, it has been a pick that goes into the Kai'Sa a lot. It's just something that aiming has... I think about it when I think about aiming's landing into Kai'Sa. That's the first pick that comes into my mind, even though the conditions aren't necessarily for it here. It also means that there's not a lot of consistent damage. It's not the AD carry that has damage through the roof, so BDD is going to have to play something that has a lot of scaling power here, you have to imagine. But he's waiting to see, just to make sure, where this Aurora is going before he opts for his counter pick.
Well, Shen is something that Lahenz has played alongside Kai'Sa many, many times. It's been a big favorite of theirs. As Olaf into the Scion here for King. And all right, that is a gauntlet throw if ever I've seen one. And could be a very difficult time here for Perfect. As BDD thinking about getting out his signature Syndra here in game number 5.
I mean, but the Aurora can just... If she survives the lane, can do so much more, I think, than the Syndra in this draft, and the Olaf can just run at you. And there's just not enough consistency.
Ist ein guter Olaf Last Pick.
For KT to make me feel like this
Ist ein sehr guter Olaf Last Pick. Ich mag den Nongshim Draft. Ich mag den Nongshim Draft sehr. Shen Support mit Olaf. Ich glaube, der Olaf kann hier das Game easy überrennen, wenn er möchte.
The identity of this draft for KT is so...
Bin Freund.
Like it's
Scott, hello.
Turn ult and then either try to ult a target that will just be properly Shen ulted, or just try to defend your misfortune to make it difficult to outplay the ultimate with a Rakan setup here. Very, very wonky. This is a classic Olaf angle for someone like Zeus, right? We've seen Zeus countless times in late Fearless pull out.
Reminds me of Shiu as well.
Shiu occasionally will pull that one out. We have seen Kingen do it too, but that pick I think is really one that I go, wow, that's a clean Fearless draft. That was a smart move. Like that's definitely a really solid angle here. Whereas the Misfortune and Syndra, I feel...
Ja, Draft Nongshim ist gut. Mal sehen. Aber bin confident.
On these champions, but not necessarily about how well it works for their composition.
Well, let's just see how it does go. It's a beautiful Trundle angle here for Sponge. I think he might be the main character in this game for Nongshim if they can find it. But it's game 5. Anything could happen, and we'll just have to see whether it's Nongshim able to stop the reverse sweep or whether KT are going to be able to save Group Elder. And Sponge has already done the right thing. Traditional Trundle is by far the best choice. So, love to see it. Aiming and goes down here towards the bottom side. We've seen Rakan and the Misfortune together quite a few times. I think that, I mean, there are angles for the Misfortune to work out. I do think Pillar is so annoying to play into because she starts channeling her ult and then you just press Pillar. And it can get very, very annoying, as this is what Kingen is going to do all...
Wie die mit den Kingdom into
damage numbers in the
win?
first the game are going to be high.
Mal schauen. Also wenn die, okay, ich sehe, wenn die Syndra super ahead kommt.
Have played into a ton of Olaf, you have to imagine.
Yeah, I'd assume so.
So that's kind of a fun concept to think about here. So we do have another pause, hopefully something simple.
Yeah, we'll get you guys updated as soon as we know what has happened here. As maybe some batteries have run out.
That could happen.
The series has gone on for quite some time. But having a look at what's happened just yet, no real accidents or anything like that. We're going to be popping out to check on some fan signs and things like that. We will still no word as to what has happened just yet. Having a look at where the referees are, I don't see them.
Well, luckily for us, it is
a ghost situation, perhaps?
Early in the game. Hopefully it's not a rune issue. Oh, Ghost has a connection issue, ping issue.
So he is...
Wollte den Kreatinkapseln. Ich habe Pulver, keine Kapseln.
Be a network reset for him. And so we are
Und
environment. Ping is very
ich nehme einfach von Ding. Ich nehme sie einfach von
might take a few moments for us to get everything reset.
Von Amazon. Einfach von Amazon. Weil Morse leider kein
having a bit of a giggle, and obviously the maybe you haven't been watching Lahenz for a while, but Shen was one of his signature picks, going back even to his Griffin days. And so certainly something that he always has in his wheelhouse. Could have gone towards his Elise as well, but decided instead to go for something a little bit more defensive that can play around the map very effectively.
Yeah, it's almost like this pick is becoming more iconic than his Singed, even though Singed is like so niche, very rarely viable. It's like not fair to compare them, but if KT wins this game, it will put Group Ilder at 16 points, meaning that even if both T1 and Gen.G win their matches, their group will lose and Bro will be eliminated.
Oh, well, we're back in, and Aiming has already has to use his flash, so that's not exactly the greatest. It's perfect. It's standing on a wall. Oh, God. This doesn't look like a whole lot of fun. As Kingen did walk over and take a minion, and that gave Perfect an ability to wander back towards his turret. He's just not having a very good time.
No, he really is not. And he will
Ich muss nebenbei ganz kurz...
Kingen is just giving him a red card over and over
he
again.
will keep throwing those axes, and then he will pick them up and throw them again. As Aiming...
Von mal damit, also schon mal Hotel
Get under his turret, at least.
That looked very weird. Just walked up to see...
und so weiter raussuchen, dass ich dann gerne haben wollen würde.
Beneath the turret. Sponge moving down towards the bottom side, Cuz moving the opposite direction of his bottom lane, so Aiming and Ghost not going to get bailed out anytime soon.
I watched the replay. Flash taunt.
Oh, right. So it was a flash invested by Lance.
Yeah, they both now are flashless, but it ended up getting them a pretty significant tempo advantage here. Always great if you can get Kai'Sa any freebies in a matchup like this. The Shen pick makes it a little bit tougher to just say, I am Misfortune. Kai'Sa lose lane now.
Ooh, Kingen not having a great time here against Perfect. Is it flashable? It is not, because the flash was used by Kingen. Still, that is great news for the Scion, who was having a very rough time earlier on in the lane.
Yeah, might need a replay of some of that trading pattern.
Yeah.
And Kingen might have just taken a big Q or something like that. We came
so.
to him taking a few autos.
We've seen this before. As Ghost is gonna...
Nee, ich buche hier, ich hab's mal vorgeschlagen. Ich hab's mal nett an Fnatic vorgeschlagen.
A lot of value. As out goes the Misfortune, and Ghost is able to battle dance.
So, warte, was habe ich perfekt? Okay, Toplane Flash down. Bottom habe ich gesehen, den Initial Chunk und dann den Re-Chunk nochmal.
True.
What happened there?
That would have been very cool if they had been actually playing the Lovers duo there towards the bottom side, but not to be the case, as BDD clearing out waves here and is just behind a couple of minions.
Also Team von Mickey X, Zeit Hotel für ihre Kostüme.
Here for Taeun and Lahens. Bit of a later one for Lahens, actually. Maybe not.
See whether Aiming decides to walk towards the brush. Surely they wouldn't.
Kingen wird nicht als Sonnenblume aufstehen. Hat er gechoked oder was?
With great interest, let's say.
Ich glaube, das Early Game Matchup ist auch nicht so geil. Also das Early Matchup ist nicht so geil gegen Sion, meine ich.
Has a flash and teleport advantage in this lane. I was never expecting that to happen.
Especially after he started the lane off by pressing shield and kind of ducking and covering.
Dann würde ich eventuell an dem Sonntag LCS skippen, by the way, und dann am Sonntag schon reisen, weil da ist viel angenehmer als dann morgens zu gottlosen Zeiten nach Berlin.
Lahens and Taeun thought that they were playing aggressively, but now Cuz is going to make his way down. Lahens, remember, does not have flash, so he's very, very dead. Unfortunately, the Twilight Refuge this time, and First Blood goes over to Cuz one more time.
Lahens.
Yeah.
They did not have vision in the river, and also I don't think you expect the pre-6 Nocturne gank to come in. But
was hast du nochmal für dein SK Prime Kostüm bekommen? Okay, du musst ja so überlegen. SK Prime hat angefangen und dann jetzt habe ich alles. Also irgendwo muss man ja anfangen. Irgendwann muss man ja anfangen. Ich bin schon genug damit bestraft, nach Berlin zu müssen. Okay, aber das Gute ist, ich habe das Hotel gecheckt, das ist sehr nah am Flughafen. Das ist sehr, sehr nah am Flughafen. Und das ist schon mal gut.
Try to get back on the horse here. They still have a decent CS advantage, and it was only an assist going over to Aiming. And so therefore, it's not quite as much as BDD.
Lol, get Chunk für die Ulti. Ja, get Chunk für die Wave, gut.
Does now hit level 6, and that's why Scout threw out the ultimate.
Aber erstmal gucken, vielleicht approven die es ja auch einfach nicht, ne?
Kind of wonder now.
Also, naja. SK Prime war so Peak um 17 Uhr total geschädigt, den Grund im Stuhl zu sehen. Okay, ich glaube, das war... Boah. Okay, ich sag Gamers Origin gegen Vitality im Meer Masters, das war schlimm. Ich sage SK Prime gegen Eintracht Spandau Prime League Finale. Das war mein Ende.
Lehens is dead as well. So it's going to be supports traded. This time, Aiming picks himself up a kill.
Der erreicht bei ihnen einfach, also ich hab's mal vorgeschlagen, weil das einfach zeitlich viel besser ist. Im März zum Beispiel, als wenn ich im März rübergehe, dann fahre ich mit dem Bus, mit dem Zug.
Perfect, because he had teleport advantage, could come down there and try to impact that play, does pick up an assist and then head straight back to the top lane.
Sein SK Prime Kostüm war so schlecht, dass das Team danach eingestellt wurde.
That's a pretty big hit.
Not bad.
Definitely
Auch ein valid Take, ja.
because of where the kills went.
Tatsächlich auch ein valid Take. Ich habe einfach die ganzen Ressourcen aufgefressen, ne?
Taeyeon is eliminating more minions as this wave state is disastrous for KT.
Question still remains, how does this Misfortune team fight in this draft without, you know, a Rel ultimate, let's just say. Like, the Recon ultimate can certainly help set this up, but playing into the Trundle, you mentioned it several times, is very annoying. Can just be interrupted, and it's very difficult to get away from a Trundle. So we'll watch this one more time. Lehens and Taeyeon flashless still, but
Take over nach dieser Season, nö.
goes in, gets the taunt. Burst damage is there from Taeyeon, but
Die leben noch lange. Aiming, tschüss. Nicht tschüss. Scout. Okay. Okay, niemand stirbt. Super.
And everything burnt here by the
Super Sache.
in order to make that happen. Taeyeon and Lehens still with flashes available, and so KT going to be on the back foot now.
absolutely. That first dragon is going to be really strong here for this Olaf as well. The first mountain they pick up.
Kommst du nach Berlin?
Cloud Soul, Earth, Wind and Fire.
Wer fragt?
Which would be pretty bonkers, is with all these really important ultimates that give a huge
Steht noch nichts fest.
to anyone who goes faster after pressing.
Und wenn dann ist es ein In und Out. Klassiker In und Out.
Value here. Also could be insane if it's Hextexel.
Oh, true. There's
If
a
it's
lot of big
Ocean, I'm
ones.
like,
Yeah, not another Ocean. Surely it's not going to be two in a row. Well, we've never had those before.
It's Ocean
Apart
for
from
new Chemtech.
all of the time. As Ghost unfortunately tried to interrupt and tried to intercept, sorry, and didn't.
World Base Cancel.
As Lehens now is Stand United available, we'll be able to get around this map and help out his teammates. Could be an option to just dive on
Level 6 von Shen ist hier richtig big für den potenziellen Grubby-Fight.
for a little bit of extra CC. Sponge over here has started up these grubs.
Pretty difficult to contest without Paranoia.
Yep.
I just don't think they can. And with the prior that Scout has, he can just come over here and kind of bodyguard, make sure that there's no rotation over from BDD. Just simply no play to be had here for KT. Rolster should be all three going over to the side of Nongshim.
Yep.
Lehens also, with his ult, it's like, you know, there's really nothing you can do.
Well, Scat of the Week just barely not landing on towards.
Kann man versprechen?
CS
Bin so undercover.
slightly for BDD in the mid lane. Top side of the map is where the gold lead is for KT. Outside of that, it's Nongshim with advantages, but things all tied up as far as the global gold is concerned. Perfect, just waiting here. Hexplate done now for Cuz as he does go back to base. As Dark Sphere will be avoided there by Scout. Not that time though.
The cooldown boot's going to give BDD the fastest route to stacking up, putting that pressure on.
Getting as many splinters as he can.
He did take Ghost, but because he's BDD all
Bis später selber.
Yeah, well, I mean, you always take Ghost when you KT.
Wann ist der Olaf OP? Also ich glaube, gegen Sion wird er immer okay sein, aber auch nicht hart fisten und dann kommt halt auf Teamfights an.
This series, though, it was, what, like 80% of the time?
80% of the time.
There you go.
In terms of mid laners, like, yeah, it might be 60% of the time they took Ghost in this game. I actually don't remember. It's been 5 games. I'm not going to go back and check sums on that one, but
I know he took Ignite one time.
I think that the lane in the mid lane, or the 80 carries in the mid lane, will be where, speaking of having fun, I was going to say where we see Aiming start to have fun.
Ja, das haben wir erfahren als der Olaf kann nichts machen gegen Sion Inlane. I'm pretty sure.
Swifties here for
Ich glaube, das ist nicht sehr leicht, das Matchup. Und was vielleicht auch missplayed im Early, aber ich glaube, das Matchup ist nicht sehr leicht. Das wird einfach, ich glaube, Olaf wird einfach in Teamfights dann gut.
Grassbacks to proc, and he is just kind of sucking the life out of King in a little bit. Lehens.
Wandering towards a Rakan, the Battle Dance is going to allow him to get out of there.
But I think Aiming is going to have the most fun when he is unleashed to play in the mid lane, gets his Bloodthirster, and can just kind of chunk the enemies down and push those waves and hope to help play around this Nocturne priority on objectives later on. This Dragon is not one of those objectives. Ghost, this is not the time to go in.
Nope. Well, he is just going to get himself out, not interrupted by the Pillar of Filth, as BDD, thinking about pressing an ultimate button, has a lot of orbs as Scat of the Week comes through, but it's just not enough damage.
Ist wieder Rocket Belt first auf Scout. Also Rocket Belt first auf Aurora.
Syndra game where he started off massively ahead but did not finish it off in the end against CDG. Was
ja, Rocket Belt oder Storm Surge, ne?
Pre-Nongshim, which we won't talk about.
He did have an absolutely incredible Orianna game or two.
Cannot believe he wasn't in the World's music video the next year, but anyway. The Ghost is putting himself in harm's way, but he keeps just getting out. That slippery Rakan.
Yeah, thankfully he's playing Rakan this time around, so isn't just going to be wandering around and then feeling a little bit silly. This time he's just going to get taunted, and there's a blast cone in.
Die machen so viel Damage, ne? Das ist verrückt.
Just kind of condemns Cuz here momentarily. He does have
Gutes Space Shield hat einen Slow, also er ist tot, aber
he is just dead.
Space Shield hat einen Slow zumindest mal gecancelt.
Cuz is like, Ghost, man.
Yeah.
I'm not trying to blame you, however. Play safe. Play safe.
Yeah, if we could just like, let's not have a conversation about responsibility right now, but it wasn't me.
So much like, you're like, yeah, luckily he's playing this champion, he's got his buttons, and he's not going to go back in. And then he does not have his buttons, and then promptly goes back towards the enemies.
Yeah, this is the problem. As it is a Cloud Soul. There we go.
All
Third one
right.
today? Oh, man. Feels like my birthday.
Well, the double dragon start here is not good for KT fans, or Hanwha fans for that matter, at this point.
For KT though, if you're a KT fan, it unlocks the Quadra Cloud Soul, which is very cool. So it will require them to get some dragons this game.
Yeah.
But it is on the table.
This team is in a position now to farm it out and eventually get aiming that BT, send him into the mid lane.
So.
That moment, so that he can actually start to be.
Bekommt
He's just now
KT den Herald für den nächsten Drake.
And we'll take that back and get that
Und holt sich so eine Advantage raus im Fight.
Yep, imagine.
Aber dann entscheidet sich, welcher Soul Drache wird ab dem, also der dritte, der spawnt quasi.
The follow-up double battle dance, but
Der dritte, der spawnt, ist der Soul Drake.
Just kind of left out to dry.
Yeah, it's really unfortunate here. Just decides to try to go in to get some damage on the Aurora. Doesn't matter. That's a tough one, you know, after such a bounce back, the Blitzcrank game, the Braum in game 4. But still early days in this game if the game time for game 4 is anything to go by.
Yeah, exactly.
Might be a lot more League of Legends to be played here in this one.
We're not even going to start counting out chickens.
No, we said at the beginning of the day, there will be no chickens to count, we just have no idea.
Yeah. And we do have a cull cashing in, so that is going to shave off a little bit as far as that gold advantage that Taeyun had. As you can see, it goes down to about 450. He's going to be now going back home. Next item, probably going to be some shoes, as he's running around.
Dieser Olaf im dritten, potenziell vierten Drake-Fight wird ein Monster. Aber BDD mit Ghost, Flash und Face Rush nicht so leicht zu catchen. Ich glaube, es ist eher auf Aiming. Und Aiming hat sich gerade Tabis geholt. Mal schauen.
So, back to lane. And 500 gold, the lead here for Nongshim.
The Herald is the next port of call for these two teams to fight over.
Oh dear.
Ghost is just baiting. He's just baiting.
Spidey senses working out quite well. As Cuz did see that there was a Trundle walking into the brush as well, so Ghost kind of knew that he needed to get out.
Early to fight for the Herald itself, but getting a lot of control vision is KT, as perfect as
he's
just
doing
going to
that
ignore
behind
the
the turret thing again, as BDD tries to scatter them, flashes out of the way, as now the quickness comes forward, Flash to get on top of the hands, and I have a feeling he's dead. Yeah, Unleash Power does confirm that, as now
Scott hat der Flash ab. Und es ist Rocket Belt first.
Scout that they want to take down. The Scout of the Week is pretty good, but he gets out with the Between Worlds. Is now
Oh yeah.
Does not care about that turret, even a little bit.
Oh yeah.
That's the kind of angle Baus would definitely give a thumbs up to.
Oh yeah.
Doesn't hit the champion, doesn't matter. The turret.
Yeah.
Gleich raus bei Scout für den Drake-Fight.
And ends up being a third kill here for KT.
Also Reverse Sweep
Really big burst damage coming through the coordination.
wäre verrückt
Really
und fatal.
on that play.
Oh. Cuz was thinking about starting off a Rift Herald, but that's a little dangerous. Scout moves down and breaks some crystalline overgrowth. Does have some spare time with this turret for now.
Yeah, Perfect doesn't have ult, so it's going to take him a really long time to get down there. A lot of plate gold goes over to Scout as a result of that.
Yeah, BDD also makes his way back towards his top side. Doesn't have his flash though now, and a Syndra without flash is far less useful. It's perfect, clears out the wave. Nongshim realizing that they do not want to be starting off this Rift Herald at the moment. Things getting a little dangerous. It's game 5. There's a whole lot of pressure on.
Ghost.
Once again, looking for that face check.
Yeah, it's every time.
Wo ist Peter?
I'm like,
Bei DNS.
I agree with you. I'm
in
also
this
have
case,
some
we knew he was
anxiety
safe, but I
issues.
still had a bit of a stress over that one after what has happened earlier. The game slows down again. It's funny, this Herald is up, but that team has enough control to really start this off. Even though KT have control of the area, they didn't have Paranoia. Misfortune sitting on one item. They're like, I really want to start this, but it's such a huge risk. And now Nongshim take the vision back, but they don't want to start it yet either because they're running a Kaisa.
There's also a dragon coming up in under a minute.
Ist Atalanta ein leichtes Los für Dortmund?
Flashing out of the way.
And this time, the go in for Ghost is good. Shuts Lehens out, prevents him from getting out of there. And then the burst comes through. The kill going over. Scout able to use his ultimate to get away.
Ja, easy, aber bist du Dortmund-Fan?
His ultimate there, but they grab the
Checkst du? Bist du Dortmund-Fan gerade, wenn du das beantwortest?
Yep, on the return. And now, as you say, the dragon is spawning. Nongshim.
Logo?
There's no
Da haben wir auch die Antwort dann.
Yeah, he doesn't have it, and also, how does aiming team fight this without any setup? This is the question.
So, Kingen.
Find the answer.
Zeig mal her jetzt.
This MF pick.
Was kann der Olaf hier?
Actually work.
Der Level 13 Olaf.
Oh, they're going to try it. There's now BDD moving over. There is a train able to come on forward as Kingen could stand in front. He is going to be able to do so.
Okay.
BDD over the wall. It's not going to be the steal, so there's Soul Point. But the Paranoia dives on in. There's the fear.
Das war nicht gut gespielt. Kingen ist Halfway-Spieler, kann nicht mehr wirklich was machen.
As KT still
But I guess sie haben den Drake bekommen.
But Nongshim, they can just back away.
Yeah,
they do not need to do anything else. They got the Soul Point. They're feeling good.
They got their prize, absolutely. And they also got Perfect's ultimate. And this turret, actually pretty defendable as well.
Yeah, they
totally fine.
Just kind of die.
KT definitely wanted more out of that, but they just didn't have the reach. You know, they weren't able to contest for the smite. And then, you know, the Misfortune ultimate was in the right direction, but it's not able to do enough damage to threaten a kill. Speaking of threatening kills.
Yeah, Between Worlds comes on forward here as BDD.
Scout?
Dodges everything. That's why you take the Ghost, baby.
Scout?
Just don't get hit.
I'm just not going to comment.
That was purely for
get
that
in
was
the way.
purely for you.
You're right, yes, exactly. The Ghost was utilized correctly there.
He kind of wishes he still had it. It's all right. Everyone comes in. The flash does come out of the way, but now Ghost comes on forward.
Okay, das funktioniert. Ich glaube an ganz viele Sachen nicht mehr. Das funktioniert, ich kann nicht mehr.
If only he had TP on respawn. Actually not going to be too important in this case. The Herald does go over to his teammate Cuz and wouldn't have been able to TP to defend this turret anyways, although Ghost kind of wishes he was alive and had it. Aiming is going to come over now. This turret will survive, it looks like, just barely on its last legs. The pickup of the Herald should be able to guarantee mid-turret here for this composition that really wants that. As KT, they're going to need to...
Das ist ganz geil, ist nicht mein Lieblings-Red Bull. Ich hätte so eine 7 gegeben.
KT have to fight for every upcoming dragon.
Ist definitiv nicht mein Lieblings-Red Bull. Das Gletscher-Eis.
Really tricky when you don't have prio. So that mid-Herald needs to be used to get the turret. They cannot fail this. They cannot mess this up. First turret goes over to Nongshim in the bottom lane.
Warum Rocket Belt? Ich weiß nicht, das ist die neue Tag irgendwie. Die gehen Rocket Belt into Shadow Flame.
So,
ich weiß nicht warum.
Could try to hold the Herald a little bit longer, try to use it for something else. We go back to this play here. BDD doesn't have his Ghost. Lehens comes in, sets up the taunt. Not really much they could do here. Sponge narrowly escapes.
Yeah, beautifully played there by Sponge, making sure that he lives up to his name as well as possible. Uses his health bar beautifully.
So, sehen wir Dusko Dawn oder sehen wir Nashos? Das ist jetzt die Frage.
And KT are playing like they just
Ist mir lieber als die Masken. Fair enough.
I don't know whether that is necessarily the case. We know that Kaisa in the later stages of the game is going to be really dangerous. The ability to reposition, the Stand United shield, things like this are going to make her so tough to deal with.
Not to mention that even though this Scion has spent a lot of this game with a lead, it's not as big as it was, and also there's a Trundle. And so if the Misfortune gets caught or uses the ultimate but then can't reach people after that, she's a sitting duck for Taeyun to engage on, Scout to engage on, Pillar to get dropped on, Lehens to taunt on.
Man braucht man auch nicht Kaiser, wenn du Double AP Solo-Nenner hätte ich gesagt.
Consistent damage either. So I do think this composition, which is behind right now and against 3 dragons, really doesn't have legs in the late game unless Nongshim make a mistake, or perhaps Ghost finds some crazy ult angle to set up Aiming's ult. Like that might be the only way they can get back
Sollte wieder fein sein.
teams at this stage, or some sort of crazy flank from Perfect, a miracle.
All right, there's the Paranoia.
Engage kommt rein. Oh, Taeyun hat kein Flash. Taeyun hat kein Flash und Taeyun ist tot. Oh, King ist... Oh, der Olaf. Oh.
Do not care about it. BDD was so the fight. He hasn't even been able to ult anything yet. And yeah, KT
Ach, wann baut man was? Ach, ich dachte, oh, ja, ist die Frage, ich weiß nicht, was besser ist, ob es jetzt Nashers oder Dusk und Dawn ist, was allgemein, ob es ein allgemein besseres gibt. Not sure. Kannst du nicht sagen, beides ist fein. Ja, wer killt den Sion? Das ist die Frage. Also wahrscheinlich brauchst du einfach die Kaiser, die durchhittet. Honestly, Engage war solid. Solid ist der Engage.
Can't quite reach for autos, but all just ulted. Got him, and then an Olaf appears. Yeah. And now I'm dead.
He's like, I will get full value out of it.
Problem ist, der Olaf hat jetzt kein Flash mehr für den Drake-Fight.
I can't get to you, and even if I
Mal schauen.
I just don't have, you know, I'm not playing Earth. Like, I can't actually hit that many times. If aiming dies, the fight dies with him, even if they get the enemy
Mal schauen.
because there are just way more consistent damage threats on the side of Nongshim. Even Olaf being one of those.
I didn't like the misfortune when it was picked up, and I continue to dislike it. Let's see whether aiming can change my mind as this series goes on. Shadow Flame done here for BDD. Massive amounts of burst damage available for him, but I just don't know whether it's going to be enough. 2 items are also done here for Cuz. I mean, if there's ever a time to make something happen, it would be now. As
this is the timing where they get both the mid turret and get prio for Dragon with this Herald. I mean, they used it at the last possible second here to get the most value.
Wow, der MF eine Bild. Wow, der MF eine Bild.
They don't have a ton of damage for Dragon. Those are so tanky here in season.
Nur um dann trotzdem gewone-shot zu werden. Geil.
Oh, you want to say it?
Moving up the river here, as Kingen going to join in as well. Scat of the week on to Lehens, but he doesn't really care about that one. Pillar goes down. Q not going to connect there from Perfect. Big health bar though.
K1 hat Flash up.
If they can actually play around Sion in the front line, then KT.
K1 hat Flash up, Kingen hat
Trying to zone
kein Flash up.
his ult comes up in 5 seconds here, and then he will be able to go wherever he wants.
Scout, big angle here.
Scout-Pose ist ziemlich gut.
Blast going to get himself into the back of the pit here at the same time.
Aiming gotta be so careful.
Yeah. That is a nice double up there.
30, 50, 50. Oh, Scout behind. Drake ist dealt. Kingen Backline. Kingen kriegt den ersten Kill. Ist tot. Kingen ist nicht tot. Was? Okay, also. Okay, ich war mal sicher, er stirbt. Ja, gut. Okay. Ja, dann halt nice. Und damit GG. Ach du Scheiße. Ach du Scheiße. Oh mein Gott.
Just feel tragedy has occurred.
Oh yeah.
They were so close to the reverse sweep. They were so close to bringing
Warte mal. Wait. Das bedeutet, ist Hanwha raus, wenn die nicht mindestens ein paar Games gegen Hanwha gewinnen? Gegen Genji gewinnen?
Look at this. Gets on top of BDD and aiming. The burst is real. BDD has to flash. Aiming is collapsed on then by the Shen. And then this Olaf.
Oder?
This is like, all right, the more
bei 0-3.
the better it is for me, baby. Like we were watching
So, jetzt zeigt mal Thanos an.
the carries. Well, on the other side, Olaf 1v4. Absolutely yes.
Oh mein Gott, oh mein Gott.
Disgusting.
Gets the Shen ult as well in the end.
Oh mein Gott.
Like, Lens didn't even need to use the Shen ult to kill the enemy AD carry.
Ist das krank.
Having a pretty good time. As I think as soon as BDD and aiming went down, it was kind of over. But King, and also the fact that he survives, man, that is insult to injury. And that also means 7,000 gold, the advantage. Red Bull, Baron power play, putting 2K into the pockets of Nongshim already. And I did kind of feel like things were going better than I was expecting for KT. That is no longer the case. It is now looking very dire.
I mean, I don't want to overstate it, but the draft is a huge problem. And we talked about how in the early parts of the series, sometimes you don't want to put too much stock in draft because it's two viable compositions, right? One might have an edge, but they're both incredibly strong. KT's comp has so many holes, and they are being exploited so aggressively here by Nongshim, by Lehens, by Scout on the flank. And I think that was the last hurrah, the last chance. They got the Dragon, but they lost everything else.
Scout of the week doesn't connect on to Scout, but they do dive on top of him. He goes golden. He's buying so much time and goes between the worlds. There is the unleashed power, but it's not enough.
Impossible.
And the killer instinct from Taeun.
Und jetzt kann Taeun sogar mal mitfighten.
And blows them up. Nongshim are looking to cancel this reverse sweep. They spend a little bit more time here today. But it's looking like it is not quite enough here from KT.
Not enough, and it looks like Scout's perfect record against BDD will continue. Longship with a final restart to the series. Bit of a hiccup near the midway point, but now poised to end it.
Well, here's the last hurrahs. Oh my God. Aiming just gets obliterated. The Nexus turrets follow suit. And it took him a while, but Nongshim do it in the end.
GG.